Speak Student!
Diary of Anne Frank, a la Shmoop. The Diary of Anne Frank, or as it was originally published, Diary of a Young Girl, is, in some ways, much like any young girl's diary. In it, she vents about her mother. She talks about boys. She talks about boy trouble. She expresses a slew of joys, fears, insecurities, and doubts. The only difference is the setting.
Where am I?
One of the reasons that Anne's diary affects us so profoundly is that it is nothing like any other books about the Holocaust. It doesn't put the reader inside the concentration camps, exposing them to the abject horror of the prisoners' circumstances. It doesn't focus on the Nazis, asking the reader to examine the soldiers' psyches in an attempt to understand what could cause them to perform such inhumane acts of brutality. Nope. Instead, it's a coming-of-age story. Anne lives with her parents. She has friends and crushes and a cat. We can see her grow up as we read, from an innocent child curious about the world and filled with angst.
You know what I do when I think I can't stand another minute cooped up? I think myself outside.
To a young adult, more confident, more secure, and with the newfound wisdom to be absolutely terrified.
We're not the only people that have had to suffer. There have always been people that have had to.
We are naturally drawn to the stories of children anyway, and when one of them is placed in a unique, chilling situation such as Anne Frank's, our attention is held rapt. Her diary gives us insight into a point of view we just don't have much access to in terms of World War II literature. Not that of a grown man who has lived a full life and has long been aware of the potential cruelty of man.
Kids today have no respect.
But of a young, blossoming girl who felt as if she had her entire life in front of her and could not have known the extent of the evil that lives in some men's hearts. What makes her emotional journey even sadder is that we know there was an entire generation of young children with similar stories. Anne's diary gave a voice to all those who died far too young. We remind ourselves that, as tragic as this account is, it is only a mere sampling of the agony and despair that was suffered by Jewish youth in the 1940s in Nazi Germany. And while many young girls write about gossip, secret crushes, and sibling rivalries, Anne was a young girl just like them, who had far more terrible things from which to hide.
Is someone in there?
Can you imagine being in Anne's situation, trying to grow up normally, at the same time that you are surrounded by unspeakable evil? How would you have handled it? Shmoop amongst yourselves. We'd like to know. Subscribe to check out more equally fantabulous videos. You should see the subscribe button just below this one. If you're having trouble locating it, we recommend you watch our video, How to Find the Subscribe Button.